going to ask you a very frivolous question. Please just ask me to shut up if you want to. But Darshana, when you're going around, walking around, and people spot you, how many times have you heard them singing Darshana?
Many, many times. I feel like before you even asked me the question, I think I knew this
You
was what's
figured?
coming. Male co-actor gets to work with all of these men that they'd like to work with. But with women, I could name like 15 in like just like that. But I know I'll never get, we talk so much about how many great Malayalam films there are, but like you'll see there are very, very few about say something as simple as female friendships. You don't see it. I'm sort of standing together because of the women in my life. And that's why I find it so strange that I don't get to see that in films in India. I love the fact that Fahad gets to do this and that and this and that and just
Yes,
challenges
I
like
know.
like I love that there's like when I watched Avesham, I was just like, wow, what a party. Like he's having such a ball. He's very chill actually. I've worked with him in Irul, I've worked with him in See You Soon. And both times I had a very, very nice experience, equal pay and all of that. So these are conversations that are very new, I would say, to I don't know if it's just Malayalam industry, but for sure in Malayalam, we are far from considering that as a possibility.
Hi, Darshana. This is Titas
Hi,
from
hi,
News 18. How are you?
hi. I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So, we are going to be chatting about Paradise, the film, your film, which of course is so much talked about. The reviews online are glowing. It grabs so much attention at film festivals across the globe. Winning at the Busan International Film Festival. What
Yeah.
has been the reaction like? From your peers, from your audiences so far for you?
For me, this one has been up until now. I think now the theater release is going to change things a little, but up until now, it felt like a very different chapter in terms of everything I've done till now. I think with Jai Hey, when it's finished, we had done a round of theater visits. So we'd travel as part of promotions. When the film released, we'd go and sort of surprise the audience and be sitting in the theaters and watch it with them, and then have interactions with the audience. So we did that a lot. And it felt like with Paradise, I got to do that with the festival crowd. I went to many screenings. I sort of traveled to different countries, different states, and just got the film in different places. And each screening even felt like a very different. I think that's one of the good things of the film. It's just many interpretations, many things that people are taking away from it are very, very different. So it's been a very meaningful, like I think with Busan, this was the first time I was attending a film festival that, I mean, sort of participating in. And it
Yeah.
was beautiful because there was a crowd that was very invested and, very committed to watching films beautifully and very investedly. So it was just like they'd come in, settle down along lot in advance before the film started, put away their phones. There was no chatting. It was just a very focused audience. They'd stay back for the whole crowd would stay back for it. Wasn't like there were people walking away. I never saw anyone walk away after each of these screenings. There were people, all of them sat and, had like researched and watched all of our work and had this, like conversations about the film, about our work. So it was a very, very it was a great experience for me and such a lovely feeling to know that small films from our small state here are being watched all over. It was a very nice realization.
I'm sure it must have been really rewarding, as an
Yes.
artist.
Yeah.
I was just speaking to Roshan before this, and he actually told me to ask you this. So I
Mm,
think you did go to Mr. Mani Ratnam's office in Chennai, and he's like a presenter, for this film. He
yeah.
is a man of few words, like Roshan was saying, but what was the conversation like between you and him? Did you manage to speak to him?
Yes, I did. Actually, right after the film, Prasna sir called me and said, Mani sir really liked the film and he really liked your work in it and he'd like to talk to you and, meet you. So I said, oh, that's nice. And then I went to Chennai and I caught up with him. It was a very quick, like you said, it was very few words, but from the little he spoke, I knew that he liked the film very much. And that's why he's backing it up. And it's such a, it adds so much value to what we're doing. So yeah, we're all very happy.
Yeah. Did you express your desire of working with him, being directed by him?
I think with it's I think it's almost it's understood. I didn't say anything, but yeah. So yeah, no, didn't
Yeah.
speak about, no. We were
Yeah.
mostly speaking about Paradise. Yeah.
Coming to your equation with Roshan, you have worked with him in the past. There was, of course, Koode, that was the first one, and of course,
Yeah.
Aanum Pennum. What is the equation with him like today, on camera and off camera?
I've sort of known him since a long, long time. We almost around when I started doing theater. So I think we've both seen each other sort of in the beginning of our acting journeys, and we've been friends since then. So it is, yeah, more than, yeah, just a co-actor. It's someone who's seen me through all of these films as a co-actor, and also as a friend in just, in life, and also someone who's, made this navigating this cinema and this whole industry a lot less lonelier for me. So it's with him, we've done, like you said, there's Koode, there's Aanum Pennum, there's See You Soon, and this is the fourth film. We've also
Yeah.
worked on a play that he's directed me in, and so yeah, he knows me in various capacities, and he's someone who is a pleasure to work with. So it's just he's a very giving actor. So when you're in the space, there's a lot that comes up for you. I know he pushes me to do my best when I'm
Yeah.
working with him. So I feel like it. I'm always excited when there's a prospect of working with him in whichever medium, form, whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a very frivolous question. Please just ask me to shut up if you want to. But Darshana, when you're going around, walking around, and people spot you, how many times have you heard them singing Darshana?
Many, many times. I feel like before you even asked me the question, I think I knew this was
You
what's
figured?
coming. But yeah, I've got that a lot. And even like with friends, there's not a day that passes without me hearing the song in some form or the other. So till the
Yeah.
longest time, it was my mother's ringtone. And then I was just like, can you please, can we not listen? Like, this is our song. Can we not keep listening to it all the time? So let's just like let people listen to it for some time. So yeah, I had to ask her to change it. She changed it to another song from the same film. But yeah, I mean, every time, pretty much all the time, it happened like yesterday. So it's very, very
Wow.
often that I hear it. Yeah, but it's a beautiful feeling. I love it.
Yeah, this year has been so special for the Malayalam film industry. Four
Yeah.
films did exceedingly well. Avesham, there was Manjumal Boys, Goat Life, and Premalu. But
Yeah.
Darshana, the conversation has come back, and because of Anjali Menon, she questioned where are the women in Malayalam cinema, and then
Mm.
your peer, your colleague Parvati, she also raised her voice about it. What is your stance on this? What do you have to say?
See, I have had the blessing of, playing many, many incredible women in Malayalam cinema. But having said that, there is definitely very few. It's not very frequent. We don't have, whenever people ask me for a list of people I'd like to work with, I have so many women on my list, but I'd possibly never get a chance to work with them, with men, working with men, or, there are characters where there are male friends, and, you
Mhm.
see supporting characters as, whatever, in Friends, and a group of men, and, so all of these, I feel like male co-actor gets to work with all of these men that they'd like to work with. But with women, I could name like 15 in like just like that. But I know I'll never get an important enough or a nice enough place where this actor and this actor gets nice enough space. And that's because there's not that much being written for the women, and that's
Mhm.
not something that it's not even something that we need to like debate about it. You can look at films and you can see that, or like we talk so much about how many great Malayalam films there are, but like you'll see there are very, very few about, say, something as simple as female friendships. You don't see it. You don't see as many
So
stories about that, So
absolutely.
there's definitely a problem there. And, but I also think that I have a lot of faith in the industry. I think that I started at a point, started playing really small characters, and, there were small things, and people just kept telling me to do, you'll only get the small characters, you'll only be playing the sister, you'll only be playing the friends. But I know that this industry, I don't know if it was out of my faith in the industry or my circumstances at that point, a mix of both possibly. But I know that it has today. I played all of that, and I am still getting to occupy prominent spaces today. I'll still play those sisters and friends, and I'll still play lead spaces today. So I think that is definitely a strength of the Malayalam industry, and I know that going forward, there's going to be more. I really hope that, and it's great that there are conversations around this, and that people are talking about it, and that sort of, I hope that inspires more writers to write more women in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, the dearth of films about women friendships in, your industry. But I think off screen, there's a lot of sisterhood, and we have to give it, to
Absolutely.
all of
Yeah,
you
yeah,
women. I
yeah.
remember speaking to Kani, who won, at the Cannes for All We Imagine
Mm,
as Light. She was saying that, when I came back to Kerala, 90% of the phone calls that I received from the industry were from women and not my
mm, mm.
male peers.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this, sense of sisterhood that it is?
Absolutely. I think for me, in my life, my female friendships hold such a big part of, not discounting the men in my life at all. But I know that I'm sort of standing together because of the women in my life. And that's why I find it so strange that I don't get to see that in films in India,
Mm,
because it's such a strong part of most women's lives, I feel. And
yeah,
like
yeah,
Kani said, there's, I mean, again, this is not just with women, but in this, I mean, with the industry here, I feel like we have a set of people that like feel like we're all doing it together, and we're sort of so like Kani and Divya winning suddenly feels like a success for all of
yeah,
us. Like we're all
sure.
just as happy as we would if we were going. So that's a great feeling. I think I do feel like as little as there's space, there is space for everyone. And, I feel really happy that I can be happy about so many of my friends. So, yeah.
Yeah. Who is that one contemporary whose filmography you really admire?
Oh, wow. That's a,
You can name
it's a
two. That's
difficult
completely
question.
okay.
It's a difficult question, but I guess I love the fact that Fahad gets to do this and that and this and that and just
Yes,
challenges
I
like
know.
like there's I love that there's like when I watched Avesham, I was just like, wow, what a party. Like he's having such a ball. And I feel that with many of his films. So I guess I'll say Fahad for now.
Since we are speaking about, Fahad, Darshana, I just want to know from you as a fan, like keeping the journalist aside. He's so interesting on screen. I mean, he's like a chameleon, he can get into
Yeah.
the skin of any character and so effortlessly. How is he off screen though? Is he intimidating?
He's very chill, actually. I've worked with him in Irul. I've worked with him in See You Soon, and both times I had a very, very nice experience. I think this excitement around working with Fahad and the sort of, yeah. I also think I'm a big fan, so I think I also go with fan energies. But he sort of cools it all down. So he's very like, you start seeing him when you're playing, you sort of not you sort of forget that, oh, this is Fahad. So I think he's very cool that way.
Yeah,
He's with, I think both of these films happened a lot earlier, and like I was still figuring my way around it, and like so he was very helpful for to in like, and he's watched all of my films after, and we've spoken after. He's very like, I feel like correct with feedback. Like
mhm.
I feel like, yeah, I've always felt, even when I was working with him, I felt like he'd say a few things that could suddenly give you a new idea, or like feel like you want to maybe think. So he gives you things that you can work with, and like he's celebrated things that, like say Jai Hey, I've heard from him after, and I really like hearing what he thought about the film. So yeah, he's it's been great knowing him, professionally and as a person over the course of these years. Yeah.
A lot has changed from the time you started out. Now today, like you were saying, you're playing sisters or playing a sister or a friend, but you're also, on the poster of a film today, you're the lead character, the title character in Jaya Hai. In Paradise, you're, of course, the parallel lead. Uh, with so much changing, Darshana, do you also see the pay gap improving between a man and a woman actor in your industry?
Um, I think we still have a long way to go. But some places I still think that people are considering, equal pay and all of that. So these are conversations that are very new, I would say, to, I don't know if it's just Malayalam industry, but for sure in Malayalam, we are far from considering that as a possibility right now.
Okay.
And like I said, I still think that there are conversations going. I mean, it's a great thing that people are talking about it, and you know, I feel like it's going to take some time, but like I said, I have faith in the industry.
You do,
Yeah.
yes. We saw you in Unpaused, a while back, which was
Yes.
like your Hindi debut per se, as
Yeah.
per Google. Why haven't we seen you in more Hindi projects after that?
I've gotten a few scripts, so I feel like for me uh, it's not like I'm looking to sort of work in a particular industry. Not, I'm just as an actor, anything I can do are things I'd like to explore. So, like, I haven't really said put myself out there in
Hmm.
say Hindi or Tamil, or it's just about things that are coming to me and I'm picking what I like most. And the ones that came to me from Hindi weren't as exciting as the ones at that point same was what was being offered to me in Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu
Hmm.
for that matter. So for me, it isn't really a matter of I need to put myself here, I need to put myself there. It's just what is most exciting in terms of a character, in terms of a story. What am I getting to push my boundaries or explore more with? And sometimes it happens in the same language itself. So I do hope I get to work more in Hindi. I would love to do. I mean, so I with this year, I think I happen to do a lot more languages. So say Tamil, I worked on a film called Love Kaveri, and it's directed by this director called Tamil, and it's a book by Perumal Murugan which got adapted. So
Okay.
I managed, I mean, I had to work on my language for that. I worked on a Telugu film. So Tamil and Hindi are languages I can speak in, or like I can understand and converse in, but in Telugu, it was a completely new territory. But I worked on a film called Parda in Telugu. So for me, it's purely yeah, I'm not looking to, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's purely, these are the things coming to me. This is most exciting. Let's do it. So I don't know if that's the best way to go about it, but that's what's most sort of authentically calling out to me. So
Yeah.
that's the journey for now. Yeah, I
But
hope
there are
I get to see more.
but
Sorry.
there are Hindi projects in the limelight, in the pipeline, sorry.
There are things that have come to me. There are a few that I'm talking on, like,
Okay.
going through some script readings and narrations and everything. Ultimately, if it works out and it's as exciting through that process, I think over there, I think it takes some more time. And, like, you're going through this journey even before the film. So I'm in that journey with a bunch of things, and let's see which one works out, or like what is yeah like there are a few exciting things that I think are promising, so I hope let's see what happens.
Lovely. Looking forward to that. Very lastly, I think since we are talking about Hindi, not to, take away the other projects that you have done, but I think in all honesty, it was Hridayam that sort of exposed you to a larger, pan-Indian
Mm,
audience, so to say.
yeah,
Also gave you
yeah.
that, please correct me if I'm wrong, gave you that commercial push, I think, as an
Mm,
actor.
mm, mm.
Now Hridayam has become like a cult classic already. People are talking about it. Film pages are discussing it all the time. I mean, as a maker, one would want to milk the popularity that the brand Hridayam has received. Has there ever been a conversation, Darshana, of taking the franchise ahead or something like that?
I know there are multiple conversations happening in various languages, but I've not been very clued into that. For
Okay.
me, I was part of the filming and everything after that, but I haven't really heard Apart from what you all have heard in the news and everything, that's all I know about. So I don't know what's going on. But I do feel like there's some universality to the film, which
Yeah.
is why there's people from everywhere that are connecting to it, beyond language, beyond the context, like it's the college life in that film is very different from the college life that I had. But some, I guess, human, feeling, emotions are sort of universal, and I found my connect to it while I was doing the film. So, and that's happening in multiple. So even when I was doing the Telugu film or when I was doing the Tamil film, I know that this has a massive audience in both of these places. Even outside of, towards the north of India, I know that this is a film. I still get messages from Orissa, and like it's a vast, yeah, canvas, so to speak. So I think that's why there is so much conversation about wanting to make it in multiple languages, and I hope we get to see more of it. It'll be fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the
Yeah.
music also really helped, the
Yes,
film.
absolutely. Yeah, Hisham has done some magic for that film. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that success gets repeated with Paradise. And thank you so much for your time. And thank you for
Thank
doing this.
you.
All the very best for Paradise.
Thank you so much. Lovely talking to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Likewise.
you.
Bye.